Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss. Today on the show, I'll be taking a look at the movie of the moment, Dune Part 2. At the end of last year, I was at LAX waiting to board a flight to Australia where I was meeting up with family for a beach vacation. And knowing that I'd be lying like a beached whale for the better half of a week, I thought I wanted a book that I could devour. And there, right in front of me, between the Colleen Hoovers and the Cormac McCarthys, was this 800-page Dune. Having seen the first Dune film already, reading the book was extremely eye-opening. It's dialogue heavy with characters giving great insight into their decision-making and understanding the powers of the Bene Gesserit. Honestly, before reading the book, I thought that the spice was just paprika by a broader name, but then I came to understand the economic, cultural, and political landscape surrounding the spice melange. I was captivated, awestruck, swooned, disgusted. I may have fried like bacon on the beach, but it was totally worth it. I could not put it down. So coming into Dune Part 2, I was excited to see how the rest of the book would be captured, especially since one of my favorite scenes from the book was omitted from the first film. Director Denis Villeneuve, who also wrote the screenplay with Jon Spaihts, returns with a fully immersive, epic, roaring, action-packed journey that is a total cinema package. And you always know a movie is hitting all the sweet spots with an audience when you stop hearing people scrunching the plastic wrappers and suckling the little bit left of their drink and shaking their popcorn. So where are we with Dune Part 2? There's a growing faith amongst the Fremonts that Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet, and his mother Jessica, Rebecca Ferguson, are the mother and son from the generations-held prophecy of a Messiah, Lisan al-Gaib. Paul is emerging as a leader after killing Jameis and is learning the ways of the Fremonts. Jessica is by his side and is secreting her pregnancy, but while the Baron Harkonnen, Stellan Skarsgård, is relishing in victory, his spice machines are being destroyed in the desert, and he's eager to save face with the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, and present his own Messiah, his murderous, psychotic nephew Feyd-Rautha, Austin Butler. But Paul is having visions of the future and is becoming keenly aware that what Fremont leader Stilgar Javier Bardem believes to be true and is spreading amongst the community is coming to fruition. Paul is growing closer to Chani, Zendaya, and embraces the ways of the Fremonts, and he might actually finally be accepting his messianic destiny. Anyone who is a Lord of the Rings fan will see similarities in the scope of Dune Part 2, with sprawling epic battles and moments of tender character building. In the novels, Zendaya's Chani really doesn't have much to do, so it's advantageous to a broader audience that Villeneuve and Spaihts give her and Paul a closer relationship that builds into a foundation for survival in the Holy War. The cinematography by Greg Fraser is exactly why we still go to the movies. The immensity of a black and white stadium scene is as grand in scale as any of the desert landscape shots. Editor Joe Walker is also generous in showing us performances without cutting away too quickly, particularly when Paul gives a rousing speech to the Fremonts, declaring himself the Lisan al-Gaib. We are consumed by the energy not only in the room, but in Paul's impassioned stance. The blaring sound design never overshadows the dialogue, and yes, I'm talking to you, Christopher Nolan, and the stunning action sequences are incredibly intricate. Timothée Chalamet is Chalamazing. He's really fantastic, and his Paul Atreides, the Muad'Dib, has matured greatly in the film. In the books, Paul succumbs to his destiny and is able to see far into the future, both for what will be and what will happen if certain sequences of events take place. That progression of Paul is so important to the story, from a 15-year-old who has never left his home planet to a man leading an indigenous people into a full-scale war. Chalamet perfectly balances this kid learning the ropes while ascending in power and romance. The standout of this film to me is Austin Butler, whose portrayal of the diabolical and absolutely ripped Fade Ralph is amazing. When the film begins, we spend time in the desert getting to know our heroes, and about 45 minutes in, we're treated to a really lengthy sequence where Butler's Fade Ralph is front and center with a gladiator type passage. Villeneuve shoots the scene with an atmosphere of danger at every turn, from Fade Ralph carelessly testing out his blades on his servants, to the riotous crowds jumping in the stands, to the Mother of Reverends carefully watching Fade from high up in the stadium. Butler's hairless face bursts with anger and insanity, and it was here that I really thought the film began, because from that sequence on, it was a pounding pace to the 2.5-hour finish line. There were definitely sequences from the novel that I wish had a greater emphasis in the film. Paul's reveal to Jessica about their lineage has so much more of a jaw-dropping moment in the book than it does here in the film. We also missed the opportunity to see how Denis would have created Paul's younger sister Alia as a little girl that everyone is afraid of. But also Josh Brolin's Gurney is known for his songs. Where were they? We got a poem spread across social media from Brolin to Chalamet, but no songs in the film. If you've seen the trailers for Dune 2, you may know about the worm scene. Too often, trailers show the best parts of the film to draw in the audience, and the most glaring and recent example is Mission Impossible, where the trailer showed Tom Cruise jumping off a cliff on a motorbike. And when that moment happened in the film, I was kind of like, so what? Like, I've already seen this a dozen times in the trailers, and there wasn't really much more to the scene when it plays in the movie. But Dune 2 doesn't give away too much in the trailer, thankfully. The scene of Paul riding the worm is one of the most captivating, stressful, and immersive experiences I've had in the cinema since Tom Hardy was chained to the hood of a car driving headfirst into a vicious storm in Mad Max Fury Road. Villeneuve has been purposeful with how he's crafted this film, and you can see how much he loves the material. Dune Part 2 will be playing for many months to come. There's no doubt about it. But run, don't walk. You really have to see this one.
You will never lose me, Paul Atreides.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope! May thy knife chip and shatter.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for all the latest reviews, and let me know what you thought of the film in the comments section below. See you next time.